The Boston Celtics finessed the NBA when they were able to secure Jrue Holiday this offseason, as he's been proving to be a key integral piece for the Celtics' push to the championship as they win game 2 as in the NBA Finals. Brad Stevens has been ecstatic about Jrue Holiday being this additional piece, and again, he has come through in key pivotal moments for the Celtics once again in these playoffs on the brightest stage. He did it in the Eastern Conference Finals and now has done it in the NBA Finals, being the team's leading scorer in the team's victory 108 to 95. We'll be breaking down all of this and more on this episode of Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Veliz. Before we get into this video, I would like to ask for you guys to try something new and hit that like button if you do enjoy the content brought to you today. Without further ado, though, let's dive into the topic at hand. Let's get into the breakdown. First off, we're going to be looking at the team stats, and like I mentioned, the Celtics came out and won this game pretty commandingly. Dominated in the free throws, were out rebounded, but found a way to win this game. Were out assisting, were key in the stocks, which we'll get to in a little bit, dominating 15 to 8. Had less turnovers, more points in, less points in the paint, but were able to find the victory as they dominated, were a little bit better from 3-point range, and were able to excel versus this Mavericks squad. And like I mentioned in the introduction, let's give a round of applause for Brad Stevens because this man deserves all the credit in the world. He went out there this offseason when the Celtics had lost in the NBA Finals the previous year. It was told by Wick Grusbeck, the owner, that changes needed to be made. Guys would have to be traded, bonds would have to be broken. And ultimately, it was a tough decision for Brad Stevens, but he had to make the smart move for this roster. He traded Marcus Smart, Danilo Gallinari, and Mike Muscala with a second round pick to gain a first round pick in this year's draft and also a first round pick for the future alongside Kristaps Porziņģis. We'll get into Kristaps Porziņģis a bit as well as he will, has been a key piece for the Celtics' success in this playoffs as well. But by doing that trade with the Wizards and getting those 2 first-round picks, it allowed the Celtics to be able to trade for Jrue Holiday when his name became available after the Milwaukee Bucks went all in and acquired Damian Lillard. Now, I don't think that the Bucks or any team across the NBA thought this could happen, but the Celtics were able to trade guys like Malcolm Brogdon, Robert Williams, and that additional draft capital that they received to acquire a guy in Jrue Holiday who was key once again in the Celtics' victory tonight. If we want to look at Jrue Holiday's stats, 11 for 14 from the field, was 7 for 9 in the first half. 50% from three-point range in both halves as well, with 100% from the free throw line, with 11 rebounds, 3 assists, and 26 points with a plus minus of +6. And Jrue Holiday was not only hitting key shots for the Boston Celtics in the paint, scoring at will. It was 9 for 9 at one point underneath the basket. Tatum getting doubled, making the smart pass to Holiday, regardless if it was a reverse layup, a floater, a nice little sky hook coming out from the baseline. It was all cash for Holiday, and he hit that not game winning, but that 3 at halftime to take the lead for the Boston Celtics, which was huge to give them momentum going in. I know I mentioned Jayson Tatum, and even though he didn't have the perfect game, 12 assists, 9 rebounds, 18 points. Again, 1 rebound shy of a triple-double, but had a double-double in the third quarter. 12 assists, was really getting everybody involved in this offense. And like I mentioned, the Mavericks, every time the Celtics would drive to the rack, would double or triple Tatum, Brown, whoever had the ball. So the Celtics had that easy opportunity to dish out to the corner, work the ball around the perimeter, and get that 3 to 4 open opportunity, especially when Jrue Holiday hit that 3 at the end of the first half. That whole play started with Jaylen Brown driving to the rack, kicking to the three-point line, the Celtics working it around to the top of the key, which Tatum then received the ball, decided to then again draw the attention by driving to the rack, kicking it out to a guy who Jrue Holiday wide open in the corner. And as we all know, that man is 60% from 3-point range throughout the entire regular season. So that is his money spot. When looking at other players that played great for the Boston Celtics as well, Jaylen Brown and Derrick White also stepped up for the Celtics on the starting lineup as well. Derrick White, 18 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists with 3 steals and 2 blocks, really living up to that stock exchange name, hitting some clutch 3-pointers at the end of the game alongside Jrue Holiday, going 6 for 15 from the field and 4 for 10 from 3-point range. Let's not forget that when the Celtics have Derrick White shooting and making at least 4 3-pointers this postseason, they are undefeated, and that still remains the same. When they talk about Jaylen Brown, let's not forget how impactful he is on the defensive side for the Boston Celtics and also playmaking with this squad. 21 points, but 7 assists and 3 steals with your boy JB. And once again, Kristaps Porziņģis came off the bench and was that impactful player. 4 for 7 from the field, 4 rebounds, an assist with 2 blocks, and 12 points with a plus minus of 12. Unfortunately, Porziņģis, if you guys did miss the game, did get a little bit of a tweak to his ankle when he was playing against Derek Lively on a foul. The Celtics took him out with the last, 5 to 6 minutes remaining, and were still able to close out the game without Kristaps Porziņģis, even though the Mavericks brought it a little bit closer at some points. The Celtics, like I mentioned, Derrick White, Jrue Holiday hit some big threes at the end of the game and also played some fantastic defense alongside Jayson Tatum to really seal the victory for the Celtics. When we look at the Dallas Mavericks here, once again, unfortunately, for Luka Doncic, he was the only one to show up for the team tonight. Even though he was questionable coming in, I knew he was going to be able to play, and he came out performing. 4 steals, 32 points with a triple-double with 11 rebounds and an 11-assist matchup. Playing with an abundance of injuries is crazy. There are multiple times in the second and third quarter where, regardless who the Celtics were sending at him, regardless if it was Jaylen Brown, Jrue Holiday, anybody, he was just scoring at ease, and it was tough for the Celtics to stop. But ultimately, like we mentioned, no one else from their team really came to life. Kyrie had 10 in the first half, but then 16 to finish the game. Washington 17, Derrick Jones Jr. 11, Daniel Gafford 13. And even though Gafford was cooking up towards the end of the game, almost finished with a double-double with 9 rebounds, the Celtics were able to hold their own. I do want to mention one last thing when talking about this team. Peyton Pritchard made his first basket for the Celtics team in the NBA Finals, and it was on a half-court heave. Absolutely crazy. I did not put the Twitter clip in. I should have put the Twitter clip in, but honestly, I thought that was very, very fantastic. Good way to get him in his rhythm, get him in his momentum. And Sam Hauser said something similar before game 1, saying he watches old game clips of him making threes to make him feel more confident. He must have done that heading into game 1 because he hit 2 big-time threes and was 100% from 3-point range. So tonight, unfortunately, couldn't get it done. But Pritchard maybe took some of that momentum, maybe took some of that advice, and it worked for him as he hit the half-court heave. As we mentioned, the Celtics get this victory 108-95. Brad Stevens deserves all the flowers. He has finessed the entire NBA by securing Jrue Holiday. Jrue Holiday is that all-defensive prowess beast. He is that defensive menace, and we've seen him step up in series versus Cleveland, having big games in Game 3, in Game 4, after a lackluster Miami series offensively and efficiently. Then when you look at Indiana, Game 3, Game 4, really sealed the deal for the Boston Celtics. Could have been in contention for Finals MVP alongside Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum. And then tonight, once again, leading scorer, 26 points, 17 points in the first half, efficient both quarters from 3-point range, from the mid-range, and from scoring underneath the basket. That was key for the Celtics' success in tonight's game. The threes were not falling. They were not going. They needed to prioritize scoring at the rim and scoring at the basket, and that was their bread and butter tonight. They were able to do that, work those mismatches, work those inconsistencies, and be able to beat this Dallas Mavericks team and get a 2-0 lead in the series, take command at home in Boston, and await to go to Dallas. Now, the games are on Wednesday. The games are on Friday. We will be live once again doing another live watch along, breaking it all down. So if you guys enjoyed the live watch along tonight, or if you guys are coming in and are finding out about it right now, come join us on Wednesday. Come join us on Friday with hopefully the Boston Celtics pushing for that sweep. We know the Celtics have yet to lose on the road in the playoffs, and even though I think that they are going to go back to Dallas, or they going to go into Dallas, splitting the series. If they are able to sweep, if they are able to get this series done and remain undefeated on the road throughout the entire playoffs, you have to give kudos to this Celtics squad. You have to show them their props, regardless of how you feel with them going against injured opponents. Once again, I'm Bruce Velez. Shout out to everybody that came to the stream. Shout out to everybody that's here. If you guys enjoy the content, enjoy the videos, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. The Celtics are 2 wins away, ladies and gentlemen. 2 wins away from an NBA championship. And even though the job is not finished, it's looking like it's getting sweeter and sweeter by the day. 108-95 final here in Boston. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out. Have a great rest of your night and go Boston Celtics.